Well, how do you tell that it's a Friday on Good Morning Uganda the moment you see your members of the crew trying to dance to the music that is playing, when you see the cameramen waving left and right, when you see your colleagues shaking left and right, that's when you know it's a Friday. Hey, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Welcome to this show, this amazing, wonderful Friday. It's the 20th of January 2023. My name is Philomena Mastiko. Look at us. We are trying to make sure that we conclude the week. It's been quite a very serious, very busy week. A lot of news here and there. All round, Parliament has been crazy. Social media has been crazy. Everyone has really been out on it this week. And we are here to tell you, relax now. Relax. You need to get a moment, a minute for yourself to, get everything out of the system as you plan for the days ahead. But yes, we are looking at about 11 days to the end of the month. We are now getting closer to the conclusion of the month. So you know what to do. Well, if you don't, I will remind you much later on. Of course, it's a full house here on Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Speaking of Robert, I do have Mollen, I do have Felix, and tell you what, each one of them has deliverables for you between now and the hour of 9 a.m. Maybe just to hear from Uncle Bob, who seems to love Friday very much, and probably some more people around here are making it interesting for him. Good morning, Uncle Bob. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. My lovely sisters, that is Mastiko and of course Mollen, plus the old man of the clan, Felix Nkunda, and above all, our viewers that have woken up definitely to start their day with us. So much is happening, like you said.
Yes.
But yesterday I got disturbed a bit. You know, the Auditor General was handing over the report that is for the year ending 30th June. And she noted that our public debt has risen now to 86.6 trillion.
Yes.
And this represents 53% of our GDP. Now, this is not good news.
In just a span of 2 months, it has
just a span of 2 months. And even if you're to look at the statistics, how this thing has been improving, rising up our public debt, just to look at a few years back, things that are known, just in 2018, it was 14.5 trillion. That is 2018. Now, 2019, it became, in 2018, it was 41.5 trillion. 2019, 46.1 trillion. 2020, 56.2 trillion.
Yes.
Now you can't imagine 2021 it shoots to 75.1 trillion, 2020 to 86.5 trillion. Now when you have your public debt representing 53% of your GDP, that is a dangerous spot. But what made matters worse, Madam Betty Kamya, that's IGG,
yes,
at a function says, "Dear members of the public, I'm here to incite you to fight corruption. Follow lifestyle audit of the people and follow government programs. Because we lose 10 trillion every year to corruption."
Yes.
Now you lose 10 trillion, you have a budget of about 49 point something.
49.9, yes.
While 10 of that, 10 trillion is going to be lost in corruption.
I mean, it's not even given. It could be more than that, because it seems like the further we go, the bigger the problems, the bigger the amounts of money.
And now continuing with those that passed mathematics in this thing. Now, when you look at the percentage of your GDP, what you're losing and how it is increasing, that means that this debt is going to reach in the near future where we can't sustain it. Now, we've resorted to domestic borrowing.
Yes.
We are saying, Honorable Matia Kasaja said, why should I go outside and look for money if there's a solid fund, NSSF? Let's borrow from NSSF. But this loan has increased mostly because we've gone to domestic borrowing where there are commercial loans and their interests are very high. So I don't know if, one, it makes the Nkundas in business who go to borrow, their interest rates very high, because commercial banks, any bank would prefer to lend to government more than individuals.
Yes.
Now, poor us, we may not be able to borrow from these banks. But also, when you get to this level, people who would be giving you loans also make the interest loans, both local and international. The interest loan is very high because you're a risk person to lend to. And I'm like, you people, this thing of economy,
It is not economic.
Hold on to what you have very clearly.
Things are getting tougher.
That's why this Friday I'm not excited, because now I'm revising my spending.
Now you know.
Things are not easy.
Last Friday we told you that you may be very excited, but the economy is going to come back.
Then
who are you as an individual?
Yeah,
well,
you have to go slow.
Well. Maybe to get it from, what did you call him? The old man of the clan?
Yes, the old man of the clan.
All right, Felix, good morning.
Senior parent.
I don't know what that's based on. I need Bob to...
He needs to break it down for us. Yes.
Because that's quite a
What were the prerequisites you looked at to call the gentleman over there the old man of the clan?
If you want to know someone's age, don't bother with the figure he tells you. Just have a conversation with him. Felix can narrate the war of 1986. Very, very well for you.
No,
wait, leave alone narrating,
yes.
But even tells you about and if this man
Felix,
can recall
is that
all that.
True? Felix,
so,
is that
and second,
true?
he's a
Well,
senior parent as well.
it is what it is anyway. But I know smart people interest themselves in knowledge around them. It's only being quite smart, it's sense of humor. But anyway, it's a Friday.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it a good day? And being the end of the week, does it bring any excitement anymore?
This Friday is relative. The goodness in this Friday, it has quite a lot of relativity to it. Depending on whatever is happening around us, my excitement is really starting to go lower and lower and lower.
Have you also noticed that the traffic jam is almost no longer there?
It depends.
Like,
Really.
and yet fuel prices were going a bit low, most recent.
Well,
like I've not hit traffic in a long time. Probably is it because kids are not in school, or is it the economy? I'm just...
But the fuel is still high. A liter right now we're looking at 5,050.
It's 5,000?
Yes. So
come on, from
it's
6,000 to
money.
almost
It's still a lot of money,
You know,
Felix.
Apart from the guys who drive diesel, you know, but,
Yeah.
but for guys who use cars of petrol, like most of us do, it's I mean, it's... we need to appreciate that there's different, man, from 6,000 to now 5,000.
No, we can. We can't be appreciating that. That's like the bare minimum. We need to go. We need it to get lower. 5,000 is still a lot of money. There are people are packed. There are people still moving with Budomola.
Well, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They just have to find their levels. Now, probably they just give up on driving. That's the realities of life. But also something quite interesting. I normally hang out in a couple of places in town, like Forest Mall, Acacia, like those places from Wednesday up to Sunday. They used to be like quite stuffed with lots of people, lots of cars, and you can hardly get somewhere to park.
Yes.
But tell you what, you drive through those parkings and you can even do a 360 spin and what, like no people.
Yes.
I don't know if it's about
I think
is it January?
It's January, but it's also a critical time, Felix. As parents now, or people are planning for the children returning to school, and we have seen some schools, of course, defy government's directive and continue to increase school fees. There is a school, somebody was telling me yesterday, this is the kindergarten, is it the pre-primary? They're paying about 2.6 million Uganda shillings, and I'm like, what?
But I think the problem is not the school. The problem now is the parents. Who has sent you there?
Mollen is a parent. She should tell us. Good morning, Mollen.
Very good morning to you.
Are you paying 2.6 million next term?
Well, if that is the school I signed up for, I should have known that, you know, of course the fees is around those figures. So by the time you take your student or your kid to a certain school, you should be aware of the figures, because of course we're not looking at an increment from 700 to 2 million. The school has already been in 1.9. By the time you can afford that,
gradual.
Yeah, so what they have increased is just a small percentage. So whoever is complaining right now probably just took their kid to a wrong school. But anyway, it also adds to the fact that the economy is not doing well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, it seems like the first month in the year is the worst of the worst. First of all, in January, that's when you don't have enough money, having spent a lot in the festive season. And then again, you have to worry about taking kids back to school. So I think it's just confusing how this month, people get away with this month. I don't know how we've been surviving all of these years, but we will still survive. We look at the fact that ministry did come out with guidelines, even last year, stopping schools from increasing school fees. I don't know why this is still an issue. Who is not listening? is ministry going to enforce this on private schools, or they feel like they own, they feel like they have all the administrative power to do whatever they need with their schools? Now, where does government hand actually reach when it comes to private schools? I think that's something that we need to understand before we blame either government or schools. But of course, it doesn't take away the fact that it's a terrible time to be increasing school fees. Now, I was also following up on some of the stories trending on social media. And Philomena, what is surprising is one of the trending topics was witchcraft in Uganda. Like, how did
we get here?
Yeah, how did we get here? How is trending witchcraft in this country? And well, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go into that feed, but also something about Entebbe Airport.
Yes.
People are coming up with videos showcasing some of the corruption cases in Entebbe at the airport. Bribes from some of the officers, people who are being frustrated, even told to wait or told to pay a certain amount, or they could actually miss their flight.
Yes.
So what is this? What is happening? And the interesting part is that people had videos even of the faces of the people who are caught in that scandal. Now, there was another argument coming from the other side. Some people were saying maybe we shouldn't have exposed their faces. They have families, children who will see them now.
Yeah, but before you get into something like that, you need to have that at the back of your mind. You need to know that you're a responsible man. You are holding this job. It's just a job. It doesn't give you the power to frustrate other people. Because tell me why, Mollen, if I've come with all the necessary documentation, I have my ticket, I have my COVID vaccination card, I have my yellow fever card, I have my visa to where I'm expected to go. So you as an officer, if I am on time, why are you failing me? Why are you frustrating me? Why are you extorting money illegally from me?
Absolutely. And I actually...
Yes, they need to understand. It's I mean, it's part of the shame. Name and shame, yes.
Because the whole idea is frustrating.
Yes.
Because now even the things that they have focused on, me, I'll tell you my own experience. One time I was coming from somewhere out of the country, getting there, they were asking for this yellow fever card. Now, by the time I left, I had a certain card that was issued from a certain hospital. Now, when I came back, these guys were saying these ones are no longer, we no longer accept these ones. I'm like, how did you expect me to get a new card, yet I was out of the country? I'm just getting in. And they insisted, actually wanted $40 to pay, otherwise they wouldn't allow you in the country, in your own country. And that is the kind, and I'll tell you, you get away with it. You get away with it somehow. So there is a lot, they will take the smallest issue of your document just because they want to be grabbed. So yes, let their faces be exposed. Guys, let them,
like,
let everyone see them.
You know, they know that someone is getting on a flight and it's definitely going to leave them. If that desperation. Like Mollen said, same situation for me. They asked, at some point they asked me, did you do a COVID test? I'm like that's that a requirement? I'm supposed to have a certificate? Or okay, like no. Like, how can you travel? Like, so at the end of it, she's like, you know what? But I can help you.
Yeah.
you know your flight is sort of like running late and they've already announced. I'm like, yeah. So, what's 250 probably in dollars, whatever. She's like, yeah, just give me 250 and I can help you get.
It's very absurd.
But I had everything. I had my certificate and I had to, because I was desperate to get on the flight. Because you know, and at the airport there's a long queue. Before, when you used to have these girls who used to go to Arab,
the United Arab Emirates. Yes.
You would have a queue of about 300 people. Now, you have to do anything possible to make sure you don't miss a flight or something.
Because you imagine even the expense of you missing the flight will be more than what they're asking.
That's the thing.
So at that point, they're taking advantage of you.
And you just give the money there. And all the times I've traveled through that airport, the only one time when I was really stressed, I didn't even want to know what I told the woman, wait, I'll just push you. There's a time I was so stressed that I told her, if you don't, I'll push you. I think that's the only time I didn't get extorted.
I mean, it's really sad that you have to budget. You have already paid for everything and you have to have a side budget of money that you're going to use to bribe.
Actually now, if you're going to the airport,
it has become an unknown requirement.
People know that when you're going to Entebbe, you have to have some money.
That is very, very sad.
They'll pick up on something. They can even pick up on your shoe.
Or your bag. They will tell you your bag looks a certain kind of way. Maybe it's
like
fragile.
anything. If they fail, they'll pick on your hair, even your looks. So
I think I support name and shame. We should take pictures of these officials.
even the eyes, they say you man, you have big eyes. And you
Okay, now these gentlemen are really taking it too far, but well, it's good.
not an eye, Philo.
Yeah.
They can look at Felix's. These are ocean.
Actually, one time I told them I'm going to talk to a gentleman called Lujai. Remember Lujai, we normally host him, I think he's the PR or something. And at some point that was a bit helpful. But the good thing is that I think the aviation came out with a statement. I'm hoping this is not just about statements.
Yes, it shouldn't
Because
just end
I
on the statement. Yes.
without any fear of a doubt that they know whatever happened.
They know, they know.
They know because they have supervisors all over, they have cameras, they have... Oh, I'm sorry, let me just say this as well. And the restaurants in that airplane, they are so lousy. Man, have you been to international? I don't know how I missed to say that. There's a time a colleague of mine drank a Pothenberg in a drink. And I told this manager and was there very adamant. It is not my fault. It is not. I'm like,
Well, the words that have
Lucky
been
there
used
is
to
an
describe them,
expansion.
adamant,
that's an
arrogance,
international
all of that.
airport for
Yes.
crying out loud. It's like the biggest tool of trade for our image. For people who are doing transit visits.
Yeah, I think because
train
there is
these
no
guys.
enough competition,
Yes.
but with the expansion that is now going on, I know that more business will be brought on board, and
Yeah,
now it's
but
about quality.
The
But
service
before
needs
it
to
was limited.
improve.
But
The service needs
the
to
foundation
improve.
When you
matters.
travel
Yes.
elsewhere, guys, airports are like the biggest PR for any country.
Yes.
Hello, how are you? You're welcome to Uganda. It's the Pearl of Africa.
Well, a lot is happening. We could go on and on and on, but let me tell you, this weekend is not going to be one weekend for us to celebrate. There is a lot of frustration. But now we're going through some of our stories locally and internationally. Robert, what do you have for us this morning?
Well, I have so much. And I'll begin with the Speaker of Parliament, that is on the local scene, who came out and talked about the parish development model. That's the Speaker of Parliament, Anit Amongi, urged officials, the Auditor General's office, to be strict while auditing parish development model funds to ensure right circles receive the money because government puts a lot of money in this program. While officially receiving the annual report for the Auditor General for financial year ended 30th June 2022, in the Speaker's boardroom, the Speaker said PDM will serve its purpose only if they use the right processes to disperse the funds. Office of the Auditor General officially handed over the report as mandated in Article 163 of the Constitution, the Speaker of Parliament. It indicates out of the 139 billion shillings dispersed to implement the parish development model, 594 million shillings has not been accounted for.
Looking at Uganda Human Rights Commission has also established a status of national unity platform. Alleged missing persons following a request to follow up by the NOP leader. The chairperson, Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wagadia, says the commission started with contacting the next of kin of the alleged persons to obtain better particulars concerning the circumstances of their arrests.
And moving on, the renovation of Uganda Matters Anglican Shrine, Namugongo, is nearing completion. On completion, the shrines is expected to seat close to 20,000 pilgrims. Church of Uganda embarked on a plan to conserve and renovate the Uganda Matters Anglican site a few years ago and is now nearly completion. This was disclosed during the site visit by the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu. Minister Ruth Nankabirwa and the chairperson Eastern Cluster that will lead the 2023 Namugongo Anglican Matters Day, Captain Mike Mukula. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, commended government support towards this project.
Now, marching the Chief Magistrate Court set 16th February 2023 to hear witnesses in the matter where Charles Olimu, alias Sipapa, is accused of aggravated robbery against the South Sudanese national Jacob Arok Mul. And in this matter, Sipapa is being charged without his girlfriend, Shamila Nachiyimba. During the proceedings, Sipapa informed court that he does not approve some of the offences he's being charged with. Prosecution, led by Harriet Adong, told court that there are 3 witnesses in the matter, though they were unable to testify with this court, and thus the adjournment.
The international scene, starting off with Russia, the country is warning of an extremely dangerous escalation if NATO deploys heavy weapons such as battle tanks and long-range missile systems to Ukraine. The cautionary statement from the Kremlin on Thursday came before a key donor meeting as Western countries consider sending more powerful military equipment to Ukraine, with Russian forces intensifying attacks to secure territory. And U.S. President Joe Biden is in California to assess the damage from a series of devastating storms that slammed the western United States, damaging homes and forcing residents to flee homes, mudslides and rising floodwaters. Biden touched down at Moffett Federal Airfield on Thursday for an area tour of Santa Clara and Santa Cruz counties, which were among the areas hardest hit by what is expected to be the state's first billion-dollar natural disaster of the year.
Now, the Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko will face trial in charges of rape and making death threats to a beauty salon employee in 2021, an investigating judge has said. The judge referred to the matter to the Senegal's criminal chamber for trial in a later dated January 17th and seen by Reuters news agency on Wednesday. Sonko's lawyers did not immediately respond to a request to comment, but the 48-year-old politician has previously denied all the charges. A trial could jeopardize his intention to compete in the 2024 presidential election. Now, in climate news, it is no secret that humans have made big changes to Earth and its atmosphere. But as greenhouse gases have built up in the air and our planet's average surface temperatures have risen, a lesser-known phenomena has been happening. Earth's atmosphere has gotten dustier since the pre-industrial age, and all those additional particles are likely being subtly contracting some of the effects of climate change, cooling the planet a little bit, according to a review study published on Tuesday in the journal Nature Reviews Earth and Environment. Now, the effects of atmospheric dust are absent from nearly all climate studies and projections, according to the new analysis, meaning that these models could be underestimating the warning associated with human-caused climate change.
Still more news coming in, looking at the headlines making it to the dailies and the New Vision this Friday. Homosexuality. First Lady orders a probe of Budo, and church joins inquiry. Budo head teacher speaks out. The big story over there you need to look out for in the New Vision. Electricity vendors charged with terrorism. And still in more stories, Kabale Oil Airport 89% complete. Museveni loads officials for service to African peer review mechanism, and Parliament to investigate NSSF. And looking at the sports section of the New Vision as well, a historic moment looking at FUFA MTN sale 19 billion for a 5-year deal, and looking at Carissa inspires Cranes to vital win over Lions, and how FMU caught up in a storm. All that in the New Vision this morning.
Well, also, Daily Monitor, that is Madvani land at heart of NSSF fight. Now also, witch hunt for mismanagement. Labour Ministry Betty Among, 19-page letter justifying her refusal to reappoint Richard Viaru Gaba. Also, Museveni lists areas of growth and audit report unearths rot in government entities and concerts. Is there value for money? That's a big question. Now, Janet Museveni orders probe into improper Bodo conduct. What improper conduct that was? Get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor and Entebbe Airport to expose corrupt staff. Well, something we did talk about much earlier.
Well, it's good morning, Uganda. The special, we are still with you, and it's special because we do have special guests in a studio with us. Now, I don't know if any of you is well acquainted with an art they call spoken word. You don't? Robert, you don't? Okay. Mollen, you do?
Yeah, I do. I actually like it.
Okay.
I don't know, the art there is different. It's not like a rap, it's not like poeming, it's different. And I think that's the uniqueness of written words, something spoken word. That's quite different, and I can't wait.
Well, lucky for you and me this Friday, we do have a special guest that will be joining us just in a couple of minutes, and we'll be looking at that special art, and he'll be telling us more, and hopefully he'll be giving us a few performances as Good Morning Uganda Friday goes on. We still have a lot to unpack for you. Entertainment, Mollen is ready for you to give you what you could do. It's a buffet of options. It's entirely up to you. We'll go for a break. When we get back, more on Good Morning Uganda Friday special.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arapojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay. So how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Monga and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
The Conservative Party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda. Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, still with us in Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and of course we are here to make sure we make the Friday special for you through always news, entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, a couple minutes I did promise that if you've never heard of anything called spoken word, probably today could be your first time, or if you are a fan of this specific type of art, then clearly you are in for a treat this Friday, and I'm very excited. I've had a couple of things about spoken word. What is it? What do they do? And when you ask a couple of people, they will still tell you the common words you hear, probably rapping but not rapping, singing but not singing, reciting but not reciting. I don't know. But in the house, I do have a spoken word artist who will probably giving us more about what this is, okay, and why you should probably get your interest in it and give us a performance as well. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mitch. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm very happy to have you here. How was it? How was your journey to this place this morning?
I had a long Thursday, so yeah, it
was.
But
you had a long Thursday, but you know what? You're lucky because Friday is here, and eventually we'll get into the weekend.
No, but
you're paying. Well, this is Mitch Isavier and spoken word. What is spoken word? What is this?
I think the definition is in the name of the art as well. Spoken word, like you're speaking word, but the words should be deeper. They should make sense. You know, you just don't speak randomly.
Okay, you have your time to put your words together, and then you speak them out with emotions and all of that. Well, I do understand you'll be giving us a performance, and well, the floor is yours.
My first piece for the morning, it's called Lekambanjuli, a piece about Uganda. I had the introduction. You guys were talking about all the terrible things happening about Uganda. But me as a person, I try to look on the other side, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, the small positive things we should celebrate as Ugandans. So my first piece is called Lekambanjuli. Uganda kula, Uganda makula. Leku bunyonyola ba amazzi agatukula. itanda bujagaali amazzi ageefukula enkobe enjovu entulege n'enkula ebyayibo akiro nnyo mujeebale buli muntu ombuuza n'ayanukula tulya tutudde empisa baatugaana okuswankula kakebe omweso kinyakula n'okwepena boda tu boda malaba n'emutukula nsonda ku nsonda kisolo paka soloti wa Mike Mukula akawowo ng'oyita mu mabira weetuukire tolinda muntu kukutabbira kubanga mu birowoozo onnyikira obbikira ebizibu by'ekibuga ebisinga obyerabira atannayitayita yatenda nnyina okufumba eno ewaffe abakyala b'embuto balene ku bbumba nga tonnalya ku nkoko enamawujolo najjembe bakuwaanire yeerukaya buli omu abeera yeegaaya nyama ya mbuzi ku nkoggo nga tonnalya ku muwogo ow'ekamudini bamusinzanga ddiini agamba nti Uganda ekyayavula tonnatuuka ku ntiko ya muhabura endingidi akoggo engalabi yalabbi y'amadinda gwerinda mbiwaanira bwereere mbasoogedde ku mulere abayimbi amaloboozi bakira ennyonza tondeetera Beyonce nga nnakanyomoozi abo ba One Direction biwero Afrigo Band bwetandika okuba kubeera kuyisa mukka mu kisero sisobola kuva ku ggwanga lyange ne bompa feeza ne bontera obumbi butaano ku mmeeza ze bwempulira akadodi toleeta mejaleeza emboona enkooge jambula Uganda yabala ebibala entuntunu bw'olya ku mizabbibu toya kebaabu essaano eshabwe abamayonezi bali ku byabwe mutuule mbabuulire entuulire ajjo n'omwenge bigere omaliza towuliza bigere Jameson John Walker mukyali ku muzannyo kaseese kitoko zirimandwa zikuba kibooko bwakata yakusakata ow'enviri owulira kiwalaata chapati 2 majja 2 nnyanya mbisi ebisigadde bisiikiremu Uganda walagi ku kikalayi tosigala kyekimu agawalayi owino ne shopping mall okuva ku kiganyi ne parasetamo gwanga lya ssanyu twafuuka basezi tubeera mu kulya bulamu abakyala aba buli kika bonna babalagavu abaddugavu n'abalina ebisambi ebimyufu abalina entumbu ezaasiba n'abalina mugaba tukyebaliza lugaba abawanvu n'abampi abatono n'abanene mukama yagaba maama lususu ne fako tetufayo baba tusibavako wiigi oba wiivu naye heyakati y'abanyankole yo sitayiro kakole abamunyerere abalina obuviiri obw'oluwewere fe abamu twagala bali abalina kaweke waitress twongere mu rawundi endala boss naye kwata oluseke lutalo lwa opposition na nadduli walukaga ne kasawuli kampala mukadde n'ekibuli enjawukana bamala ne baziteeka ku mabbali kakira n'ekinyala abaganda n'abanyala fly emirates eyo gaali ya kaliya jjawo hali abaana baleete bombadiya baseeka abakuba zitalawiya abakristaayo abasamaliya abali wano n'abali emitala wa maliya abasula enjala n'ab'ensaniya nzikiriza mu birooto nzikiriza mu ssuubi leka mbanjulire.
Oh wow, if you probably had some weird feelings towards Uganda after listening to Lekamba and Julie, the moods change. I agree with you on very many fronts, the things that you know here and there.
Yeah, but the difference is in spoken word, poetry, we snap when the line is
oh, we don't clap.
No, we snap. Yeah. That's the difference.
All right, at least I am taking away a lesson or two. Well, this is Mitch Isabidie, and he's a spoken word artist. He's going to be giving us another performance later on. If you love how words rhyme, I don't know what the second performance is going to be about, but if you love hearing rhyming words, I've tried my luck at that, and clearly it's not my forte, but I appreciate the people who can pull that off.
Not like you can always learn.
I can always learn. Okay, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday. We're going for a break. We have some more discussions we'll be having with you here this morning. But remember, we do have Mitch with us in the house. He'll be joining us later, and a couple of other special guests. We'll be back. Thank you.
Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles,
Having a disability is not inability.
professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Mollen and Kirabo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday special. Welcome to the session of discussions on this Friday, tackling a lot of issues, especially on the social aspect. Well, this morning, myself, Philomena, Mastiko, with Robert, Felix, and Mollen, we are going to be discussing a topic that has been trending also for the last couple of weeks. And I mean, this is something that has everybody confused. They don't really know how to feel about it. They really do not know the plan. And as we speak right now, we are also having our leaders starting to get involved in it. I don't know if they're starting or they have already been in it. When it comes to homosexuality here in Uganda, it's quite something, a topic that has become very frequent on every Ugandan mouth. Or at least if you do not know, I am sure before this day goes by, you'll probably get an idea about what we are talking about. Now, the last couple of days, again, in addition to what has already been happening, we did see a video that made it viral, talking about homosexuality cases in one of the schools here in Kampala. And this grabbed attention of very many children, students, parents, and also our leaders. Matter of fact, we are also having the Church of Uganda now fully taking a step in when it comes to the investigations in the school and also relatively to the homosexuality allegations that have been brought on the table. But also we do have the First Lady, Mama Janet, who is also decided to ask for investigations to be carried out in this entire school and all the accusations around homosexuality in relation again to the school. And that's not just all. Apart from the school, we have had very many stories come through. We have seen very many I mean, even on social media, we have seen children come out to declare that they're actually gay. They're seeing fellow girls and fellow boys. You know, all there is proof. There is actually proof with all this that is happening. But the question is here, probably what we're going to be discussing, how did we get here? Who is responsible for this? What happened to the moral standards of the country, of our societies, of our families? All of that, you should be expecting it in this discussion. And feel free to get onto our socials as well. Hashtag UBCGMU. Let us know. Give us your 2 cents on the topic at hand. Make use of our WhatsApp platform. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. Of course, as the discussion goes on, I'll be sharing all of these thoughts with the rest of our Good Morning Uganda family. Well, probably I should start off with Mollen, and we need to know, Mollen, how did we get here?
Well, I think now that we are already here, probably how we got here might not be such a big concern, but we need to know how to get out of here. Nevertheless, we still need to understand. Now, when you talk about the topic of homosexuality, this is something that is not well within our culture. Traditionally, this is something that is very strange to us here in Uganda. Now, when you see rampant reports that this has become a thing, and now more rampant in schools, you now wonder, how did it all come out? And I think it's important to also note that most of these characters are started at a very, very young age. These kids are learning these issues from the schools that they attend. They're getting these things from actually the communities that they live in and the peers. So that is quite key. But also you have to bring in the aspect of the kind of generation that we live in. There is internet at everyone's exposure, even for the young kids. They're able to actually, right now you'd ask a 10-year-old and they will tell you about LGBT or something. Because now it is a topic, we're talking about it, it's all over the place, and that intrigues them into knowing and reading about the whole perversion of sex and gender that has been portrayed in the whole homosexuality issue. And as Uganda, I think we've made our point clear, and thankfully through our President Museveni has constantly said, you guys, you are okay with homosexuality, let it stop in your own communities, in your own countries. However, as Uganda, we do not allow this. And I think this was the same statement that was also made by the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, at a conference. He said, this is not well within our culture, and the parliament I belong to, or I chair, can never allow something like that to happen. So I think this is something that at a certain level we try to talk about it, but we have not gotten rid of the root cause, the source of why this is happening. Now, I think it's also important to note that one of the sources, or what relates to kids or children learning about homosexuality or some of these, perversion, is because of lack of that connection between children and parents. Because the one person that could actually shape a child's thinking about anything in this world is you as a parent. You have a key role in making sure a child understands a certain way of life. And this is how we all grew up. Most of the characters that we have learned, or the traditions that we know and culture, were because our parents taught us, not the schools. So I think it's important to bring in the aspect of parents have disconnected from their children. We're not talking about these things, and this is how we are letting our kids learn about stuff like LGBT or something. And then you bring in schools. Schools do focus mostly on the formal education. You take a kid to school, they'll start with the mathematics and the English and whatever literacy. They are not going to set aside a certain, kind of topic, talk about, homosexuality. This is not something that schools are doing.
Yes.
However, now these kids are seeing it all over the place, and they're interested in learning. And once they learn about the things through internet, through, peers of older friends that they have that are telling them about that, they become inquisitive and curious. And that's how they end up getting there. They just want to try. And I think this is common in boarding schools. If you realize, even some of these big schools, we give them the credit for performing well. They are big schools, but they have let these children get away with bad behavior, all in the name of, in the school, there is liberty, students speak up, they're able to do whatever they want, and this is how we're letting some of these big schools spoil the children, all in the name of we've given them the freedom. So I think there is also something to look at in there. The schools that we call the big schools,
yes,
or the good schools, why is it that they are the ones with common scenarios of homosexuality? They are the ones with common scenarios of, you know, students even using drugs.
Yes.
I think we've seen this mostly last year. And I think that is where we need to focus now. How are these characters getting into the schools that are supposed to be the best at education? So maybe they are setting aside some of these moral grounds for the students or these children, and they're focusing on their education, which again is not shaping them. Because how do you, as a school, allow children to go to a prom party and they are coupling up and you're seeing them dressed in a certain way, even to the extent I've seen some schools, not in Uganda, where even children do apply makeup as a man. You're applying makeup to look like a woman. And the schools are okay with that, and they go to prom parties. That is you failing your role. If we adapt those cultures here in Uganda, we're going to be promoting this kind of behavior in our schools. And then you look at the fact that some parents are actually okay with it. Actually, the parents themselves have engaged themselves in such acts. You look at parents and they are gay parents. They are proud to say that. And how do you think they're going to influence the children? So I think we need to look into it at that extent of parents and schools now fighting the same thing. And of course, we might sit here and want government hand in it,
yes,
but it might not be enough if we don't get involved individually.
Well, clearly Mollen has submitted that, and I'm pretty sure very many people would kind of relate to some of these reasons as to how we got here and who is playing this major responsibility. But of course, we've also had very many cases where, I mean, Robert, I would really love to hear from you about this when it comes to we have seen a number of human rights organizations coming in with the argument, with that perspective that this is a human right and all of that. But how do we distinguish that when it comes to human rights and our culture settings? Now we are speaking as Uganda, as a country. Where do we draw the line in all of this?
First, I'll use a few minutes to take you back to how did we get here.
Yes.
Because I believe that was a very fundamental question. You can never, if you don't have your history, then your present will disturb you and the future will do that. Now, when we talk about the rainbow or the LGBT movement, we are talking about organized, deliberately people somewhere in the Western world who are funding, who are pushing for this evil to eat up the entire world. Now, how did we get there as a country, and why I'm saying we may not be able to fight this? First, these people are rich, they have the monies. That's why when the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugaru, was talking about them leaving the Church of Canterbury, among the things he emphasized, he said, we must have ways of making money as a church, so that we can move away from these donations that influence us. Taking you back, when our parliament came up and our president assented to the anti-homosexuality bill, though later we said we didn't have quorum in parliament, this is what happened. We lost a lot of aid as a country, and this is evidence.
Yes.
Because the people who are funding us said, since you don't accept this, and you're oppressing these people, we are not giving you more money. So, how we got there, that these people got ambassadors.
Yes.
About 8 years back, I was just beginning my profession as a journalist. Someone told me there is a press conference we want you to cover in one hotel just next to us. Told me, have your cameras, have your gadgets, but you'll have, this is going to be a very hard story for you. So I told them, where do you get my contact? They told me from a person who once worked at UBC and is in the United States of America. I won't mention that person, but she was a she. We had worked with her in radio. When I went to this hotel, I saw in broad daylight, because the thing was at around 1, young boys coming, driving very expensive cars, parking in the parking lot with handbags, then they have high-heeled shoes. And when we reached, we thought it was a press conference.
Yes.
The usual of a press conference. They first served us all kind of eats. Then when they came, they were sharing their experiences, how they are lacking their lotions they are using, and all these were there and given to them in bulk. Now they are told us to go and ensure we see how they can have airplay or space. And if things that hit homosexuality come up, we defend. And by the end of that day, they give us a very big package to go and be ambassadors. 2 weeks after, we were invited in Western Uganda at another hotel. Now, when we reached there, every university in this country, Makerere, Mbarara, mention them apart from the Islamic University. These guys have what they call the Rainbow Movement. And they have members. So they converged. And I want to tell you, Philo, we're about 400. They were just mentioning, for us we are from Makere, for us we are from here, for us we are from Mbarara, for us we are from here. 5 days at this hotel. You wake up, they were sharing experiences, what they go through. At the end of the day, the facilitation was so hefty. And of course, they again gave them their oils, gave them whatever they need to use, taught them how to do this better. These kids you're seeing today, in every institution, there's an agent there. And they are being funded. Many NGOs in this country are funding homosexuality activities. Today, we are talking about certain apps like TikTok. How hard is it to locate these people if this is an evil that we are accepting to fight? Because they have the power, they are very influential, they have the monies. Let's go to our schools. This young, now if you talk of a teacher, for example, a teacher who is sodomizing young boys, you may think you're holding this teacher accountable, but when he comes out and says, in 5 years I've been able to lure 100 students in homosexuality. Now they have discovered me, they are throwing me out. This man is not going to suffer. He's going to go on international conferences, speak how they are being tortured in Uganda, how they must have their rights. Let me just take you back to the Qatar World Cup. You saw they put pressure on every interview. Well, will the gay have, will the LGBT, will the rainbow? So it shows you it's a global movement, very strong, and it requires us to say, if you are going to do away with the LGBT movement, are we prepared to swallow this bitter pill?
Yes.
Today you're talking of
because
parents.
It will cost us at one point.
It's going to cost us.
Yes.
And I don't know if you are willing even to go there. We may talk about it today here. If our leaders are willing. When you have the HIV fund, almost 90%, being funded by people who have influence in this. So are we ready to walk the pain? Your child going in a school, some of these big schools, these people have agents that are going to lure your children into homosexuality with the benefits. You have a young man in school, he can pay for half of the class on daily basis to have kabaragara, to have this, and they want to befriend him. They want to befriend him, they want to protect him. But behind this young man, there's a strong force that is funding him as an agent. Go to the born-again churches today, where I belong. We have so many homosexuals there, and these lesbians. This young man will come, have accepted Christ, raises his hands, worships and plays and praises. In 3 months, because there are these people who have prayed and prayed, not seeing breakthroughs.
Yes.
This young man begins, they think God is using him to respond to their miracles.
Yes.
Ah, brother.
So he uses the points of desperation.
It's because he has what it takes. He's a young man who will come and say, Brother Felix has been praying. He even listens to some, those pray loud. He listens and says, Brother Felix, God has told me to give you land. Brother Felix goes think the good things he's doing. Then he comes out and says, but Brother Felix, all of this is how we've gotten there. This is what we do. Even the pastor is in this movement. How do you think I came here? So it's a big deliberate. Let's not just think that parents not doing so much, all these kids just cope up with this habits. There are these idiots I saw on social media, a boy and a girl, we've been engaged. Those are speaking at the back of their money, of their mind is money. There's one prominent one, Ugandan socialite and TikToker, I think she's called Muna something. She comes over, she's like, now I openly confess. So it is, if we are to fight this, We must be as organized as they are.
Yeah.
We must be willing. But what I see now, Parliament, what good are you? They are going to come up with the committees and talk and talk and talk. But there's someone who is going to say, that's why you talked about the human rights.
Yes.
These NGOs, and
because
we must,
they always come from that angle, human
these
rights.
NGOs that are defending these people, he who pays the piper determines the tune. We don't have jobs in Uganda today. Many people, you write your proposal, and who will fund if you want a quick proposal? Because these guys have money. Then you form an organization, they fund you, and they tell you among the activities you must do is protect and fight for the rights of these people. And these people are making noise because it is money that is making them speak. Because biologically no proof has come that a Kirabo who was born a boy, now Kirabo has become a girl. Unless you're telling me these are hermaphrodites. Because hermaphrodites, they have two private parts, isn't it? But anyone born normal, there's no justification that they are what? That they are either they have these tendencies.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Well, Felix, clearly, when you talked about hermaphrodite, I saw Felix shaking. He said, Felix, what's going on over there?
Dysfunctional and have two different reproductive organs. They're actually not called hermaphrodites. But that's beyond that and away from that. When all of us are commenting about LGBT, I hope that's what it's called. But we normally call it homosexuality, the rainbow. And funny thing, me, I was a bit primitive about the rainbow. When I went somewhere in Europe, I was all excited about
you did not
buying
know the significance.
Until someone told me, you put on that bangle on the street, someone is going to hit your behind. Like, I'm like, okay. So it's a serious thing out there in the white people. Here we've not seen much of that. Actually, there you see, they put flags on houses. When you're driving through a street, you see a flag there, you know that
is how they identify themselves. Okay?
And for them, it's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are restaurants that are meant for them. There are even areas that are known. Like there's a place somewhere anyway in London called the Luton Town. There you go there and you know it's just those only the bars, you know. But for them it's all right because it's a culture they have accepted to be a part of them. But what about us here in Uganda? I'll tell you, and listening to Mollen, Philo, and Robert here giving submission about this whole homosexuality thing, it just got me thinking. You see, one of the worst hypocrites in this world are black people. We are bogusly hypocrites, and I'll tell you why I put it that way. We love to take the show about things that will help us get a bit of limelight. You get the point. The discussion about homosexuality in this country has been here for more than actually 100 years.
Yes.
If you're keen to read, as Robert said, that some of us are, it's not that sometimes we are actually old people, but you may interest yourself in some events that will affect you after all. We have had these stories from leaders that are known. And because it is Mollen, and Mollen is someone you know, or Mollen is a superior, you won't talk about it. You get the point? Philo, you talked about schools, and these are not allegations. There's a document that took a wash of social media from Bodo. And today in the New Vision, the First Lady said there should be some inquiry into that. And now that's a matter of public discussion. We can't even hide away from it. There was, I think, a party that happened in one of the schools called Kenyena in Namugongo, where we saw photos of girls and girls, sort of like coupling together and what. I think it was, I don't know if it was prom or something. But that one said, there are people on social media that are known in Uganda to promote homosexuality. They are celebrities. There are people we know in fashion, for some of you who love fashion, who are not shy to say. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a big discussion in the August House about regulating the activities of homosexuality or LGBT or the rainbow, whatever you may want to call it. There was a discussion into that. There was a bill put together to that was supposed to come in too low.
Yes.
It went through all the processes to the point that it should have been assented onto by the president. But that didn't happen. It was called back. Because what? By then, the spokesperson, I think the press secretary of the president was Don Wanyama, if I'm not mistaken, who came out to allude to the same that was said by the spokesperson of, I think, government, Fono Pondo, who said that they will not bring a new law into place because it was a replication of what was already in the Penal Code Act Cap 120, where they talk about unnatural offenses. You get it? In the guise of that. Now, let's be straight head on. Do we want these practices to be part of Uganda's tradition and practices or culture? Or do we just want to talk because cameras are always before us and pretend?
We need to be conclusive about the solutions
and that's the right word. We are
yes.
not being conclusive about this matter. We are just being hecklers. We enjoy camera time. When the camera is there, that's bogus. If you want to fight this, be conclusive about this whole situation.
We fear the implication.
And that's the problem. So then don't talk about it, because if you have fears, you're pretending. And you see, and for me, I have reason to believe that the people who want to discuss this homosexuality thing and LGBT are promoting it, are also being paid. Because you're giving it time to talk about it, yet you're doing nothing about it. You're like more or less doing awareness.
Yes.
And I think also Felix, what is happening is we are now turning to a blame game. We are blaming the white people, the white culture, but what are we doing here?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to act again, in fact, it would be unfair to hear these government officials coming out to pretend like they care. Who has been prosecuted under this? They say that we can use the Penal Code Act. Who has been prosecuted under that particular law? Have you had any homosexuality taken to court and the processes? But every day you have videos. Girls are confessing on social media on Obawange, she's money, he's him. Why did you start with those?
Then we come up with that.
When you saw this girl who was beaten, Kismani, queen.
You know that name? Pretty Nico.
No. Yes. A pretty of what those funny. Everyone now, hypocrites at play.
They're very vocal about it.
And that's why we suffer. We don't own what we believe in. We don't own what we believe in. You're here saying you don't like these practices, and I'm telling you, out of 10 families today in this country, 4 families are dealing with homosexuality. Why? And no one is talking about it. How will the community look at me? Now, you see that reaction. And that's what's happened.
Get a better example.
You get the point. Because people are not coming out to talk about it. They're not talking. And every time you don't accept to have these conversations, you're going to harbor this. Because now people don't care anymore. Like, if schools,
yes,
you can imagine if a school administration organizes a function like that was, and they're okay to take photos and post them, they have no statement to come.
I feel like with the rampant talking we've done about it, we have normalized it, or at least it's starting to feel normal.
You know where we made out of proportion.
Just let me just say this. You see, why I say black people and Ugandans, let me focus on you Ugandans, you're hypocrites. You don't know what you want. All you're good at lip service. You get the point. But if there's action, we have talked about corruption in this country. And then, but there's a court, there are laws, but isn't it still happening?
The enforcers.
And the people who talk about it are the biggest castigators of corruption. Like the one time when they were in Colorado, you see a pan of government workers sitting there. They're the ones that are attending the anti-corruption day. Then throughout the year, they arrest like 3 or 4. Now, in the same spirit, we are talking about homosexuality. And let me tell you, and that's, for me, I resolved to bring it down to individuals. You, the parents, don't put your trust in these states, saying that the government, the law, they are not going to help you in any. They are also suffering with their children who are already homosexuals. the parents must cut out what they want and what kind of children they want to raise. You think you love your child so much, you're sending them to these posh schools, and I have nothing against posh schools, by the way, because anywhere this can happen, regardless, you get it. You're buying them these good things, you're exposing them to whatever because you think you love them.
Yes.
They start slowly and you think it's stylish.
Because the world has
Let me tell
changed,
you,
technology has come,
do you
involvement
know-
is all there.
Can you believe that today there's cartoon? You know cartoon?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how, which other, cartoon like, that is homosexuality, promoting
Even books that are actually children books. And I did see
at the age
a
of
journal
2,
that was
3.
actually talking about giving them a list. These are lists of books, children books, that talk about homosexuality. And they were okay putting the list there.
But I think
in a
we've also
certain journal.
become okay with homosexuality. Well, one time, one of the leaders came out and said, if they are doing their acts in their bedrooms there, then it is okay, as long as they are not bringing it out in the public. Felix has said we are not being honest to ourselves. You people, I want to tell you, we've learned to accept, we've become very complacent, that today you go to a bar, and these guys are not isolated.
Yes.
They come in and say, those are homosexuals, that is a couple. And everyone
But
is...
even some
it's
of these
normal.
hangout places, you will walk into them and you will find these people.
You find police
You don't even
officers-
have to be
Yes,
told.
police officers
You'll
will tell
see
you.
them.
I think Felix, you've mentioned a point I want to buy. You people, we are not being serious. You see, we are playing games with this thing. Because let's be very honest. Do you think our law enforcers don't know the homosexuals? We have prominent lesbians, prominent homosexuals, prominent advocates. We know who they are.
Police came out
We don't
to make
even
a
need to
statement about
investigate
those videos, but never you get a
But Baba Felix, do we have a clear law about homosexuality in our laws here in Uganda?
Yes.
I think that is something that we
It's
might
the first
need
thing
to
I said.
also forward.
That when
and
the
see how
law
we
was
now
being
bring
put
it
in
out.
process,
Yes.
and it was entirely about dealing with that.
We succumb to pressure, Felix.
So
we
in
are
all
not
of this,
willing to pay the cost.
in all of this, we're
of
talking.
losing
We don't.
or recovering.
We haven't.
This
put-
is what happens,
Yes.
Philo. The heart is willing to stop homosexuality in Uganda, but the body is failing. Why? Because we look at the benefits we are getting from these people, the support, and what happened in Parliament was influence. These guys will tell you, okay, you move along with this. Persecute. They are using the word persecuting. You see? These people, you
Actually,
persecute
we
them.
were told there was money flying.
Yes,
people
persecute
get
them.
rich.
For us, we are moving this. Then these, politicians have never been honest and rightfully speaking. Then they will come at the face and show we are against it. On the other side, they are saying now we are having a move. Let them still be. So the moment we still can't walk the talk and we're not willing to lose or pay the cost for ending this in Uganda, it is going to grow. And I guarantee you 10 years from now, we shall have weddings. People properly wedded.
And hopefully we'll be having
and we
this.
shall attend their weddings.
Yes, and I mean, we won't even be talking about the time when we were talking about the time when we still had the opportunity to fight it, but we possibly
We have
can't.
presenters on TV and radio.
Yes.
Who can confess I am, and they have big listenership and support.
But
That's where
you
we're
know,
heading.
but you know, guys, I think there's something that we need also to be honest about. This is not a problem that we may solve as individuals. You know, when you lose identity, and this is what we have been talking about, the power of culture and belonging, we have since lost identity. And I'm sorry to say this, you look at what defines us as Ugandans. If someone asks you, like away from you saying, I'm a Muganda, I'm a Msoga, what defines us as a country? Do we have any identity? The only thing I are part of Africa, everything China Mungaso. Because no one eats from that. That's just for sensation and massaging our egos. Yeah, they have reverse migrants. No, but do we have an identity as a country? Do we attribute ourselves to any values? And this is I think we have had this discussion, Philo, from Monday up till today about national values. And that's where we lose it. And that's indicated in the smallest of things. These young children are looking at us, the elders, as being confused. That's where they get the courage. When they walk on the streets of Kampala, what do they see? Do they see a country that has a vision? Or do they see a country that a boda man, a taxi man, like from there, then you hear the mayor of the, like everyone is just feasting on the other's back. Like, because of lack of a general direction as a country, no one is talking about this. You get the point?
Yes.
Because no one feels even to have the moral authority. Even all of us here trying to working on TV, probably who would even care about? Like, you get it, we'll be passive about these things. But probably for us, because we are on TV, it's a national TV, you want to bring out a topical discussion and see how people can. So, but who is discussing this? How many times do you hear, Robert, you do lots of radio shows. How many times do people host radio shows to address this as a problem?
Yes.
You know what they're talking about? Kakati, Museveni agenda, Museveni.
Well, we do have feedback that is coming in from a number of viewers, and there is a gentleman called Wilson Ham in Chotera who is saying, I'm still wondering the intentions behind this move. I have learned of prominent people promoting divorces through discouraging marriages. Their campaigns are so tricky but deliver their message. So all of this is in a way connected to immorality. And I also do have Waswa Ronald from Nakaseke saying, I'd like to know why these practices are funded and the interest of the funders in turn. Well, if only we had the answers, we could probably avail
why they're being funded
and the intentions of the
funders. Why are
funders.
we getting into the why and who is funding? I think at this point what we should concentrate on, and as this whole discussion goes on, is forging a way forward. Because we can sit here and say, we know of some European group that is funding homosexuality, but how do we forge a way forward such that even with these funders coming in, with all these individuals coming in to promote, we are still able to save especially the young generation? Because I am telling you, having a teacher in a school who is promoting homosexuality is something that can easily be identified. So we need to forge a way where we are now putting these schools at a task of identifying such characters and get rid of them.
But you see, this is
if you
where
know there is a movement that is keep bringing all this promotion, get them away from the children.
This is where the state comes in handy, because you're going to get that teacher.
The state
then
is never
what?
going to give us any
Yes, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do mob justice on this?
Is on the
we have failed to get a law.
Yeah, but you see, who is going to put the law? That is where the state comes in.
You can only transfer the teacher.
What are you going to hold this teacher against?
Exactly.
Yes.
But now if we are saying the state should come in, how many things have we pushed to the state?
Well,
and they have not come in to do anything.
So we don't have a way forward.
So we don't have a way forward.
We have a way forward.
Yes.
We need to get on top of it as individuals. And this is something that I talked about. Felix did talk about it as well. We need to come out as individuals and forge a way forward. And I did give this in my first submission. As parents, you have a key role in there. Your child will be at school, but they cannot take in information that you've advised against. The moment we speak up and avoid being shy about such topics, that's when we're going to save the younger generation. Because at least for us at this age, you understand right from wrong. But we're talking about young people who are just learning.
So what happens to the people who are already in it? Because we need to apprehend the people who are getting...
And I think this is where...
because that's my issue. We still have chances with the young people.
Church.
Yes.
The Church of Uganda specifically, they were talking about some of these youth coming for counseling, coming for, church sessions, to make sure they can help them. Because I do know of a certain individual at a youth stage, and this was way back in school. This child was suffering. He was losing weight. Everyone could see it. But because it is something that he got involved in when he was young, he had no way out. He felt ashamed. He had no one to run to. But now if you have big organizations or churches coming out to say, we can help, we can offer the help you need to make sure that you move away from such behavior, I think that is a start. All we need is someone taking the first step.
Let me just say this for me lastly, Philo. One of the things, by the way, just so you know, not every country in the world has this stuff. There are communities that have totally.
Yes.
The Arabs.
Totally. You saw, he gave an example, you saw what was in Qatar. To the point that they say, if you want to take the World Cup, we are not going to lose our values for just 28. Take your stuff.
Yes.
You get the point? So it doesn't mean that, let's don't look at it like it is a general thing. Ugandans, from me,
pretense.
They have seen me. You know what seen me means? Our mother used to tell us, oh, you see me at television. Uganda baina see me. You see, even these white people, look out for the most soft spots in the world. They see people who have seen me. Kajanja. I don't know what kajanja is in English.
But they get it.
But I know our viewers understand.
They understand what a kajanja is.
Who are desperate. Ugandans are so desperate. Yeah. You see a young boy, you are in 13, but you want to live like Elon Musk, like but uselessly. They see, because I've told you, these things can be
beyond your means.
They see people who can easily be lured. Teach your children values, to work hard. These shortcuts in life are bringing the problems. Thinking that you can be who you want to be without any effort. People don't want to work. These kids who are just, but yeah, the Kajanja group of people.
Then modern day parents, the elite family.
Yes.
The child begins, you know, no one wakes up and it's a process.
These things are
begins putting on funny things. Hey, you're putting on like a woman. It's stylish. Okay, well, it is their generation. But then Mviri comes, pins.
The question is on our socials. What hinders morality in our communities? What hinders morality in our communities? Go on and tell us. Of course, we would spend years and years on this discussion, but of course, time is not on our side. We're going for a break. When we get back, we still have a lot to unpack for you here on Good Morning Uganda Friday Special.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way, because we are all different, even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body, because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission. Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Don't fida. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Mu kibuga gyenva webukeera buli omu eyo gy'alabira ekitangaala tweyiya bwetyo ne tuwangaala Nassa Road ebipapula by'ekikwangaala music abamu bakuba dancehall abalala bakuba lingala kati nkukiriza ku kaalo k'eddangala abatuuze gye baliira amakoola ga kiragala abasinga babiyita biragala plane oba kibanga babitabika bibawo essanyu kirabika naye abandi bababika abasinga obasanga butabika tuyiya duniya buli omu ayingirawo mu sitayiro paaka nkadde abamu baviiramu ku Cairo kati nkutuuseeyo mu kiro Kampala Road ng'okkiriraawo ku kaboozi Topu pub gy'osanga abaana abalenga akaboozi anko jangu tulabe ge maloboozi shoti oba longo ebyo bibeera biboozi mu kibuga gyenva buli omu abeera muganda era towulira atyenyi okujjako abasajja abanvu abaddugavu abalina birayini mu bwenyi n'abakyala b'amanyo ga kyenvu ab'ebikiro basanga mu kisenyi kikomando molokonyi ne kabirizi ebyo bisanga yeeyo ku mabirizi naye waliwo n'abasabirizi ku makubo ng'enjala ebabalambirizi William Nassa Road diruwa otusangira tosumagira tonanaagira obusajja bwa kanso obututangira wadde naffe oluusi tubulangira nyabo jangu tukusiba akaviiri Gazalandi Galiraaya Yesu akwetaaga abapasita abayudaaya obasanga ku makubo abasuubuzi mu kikuubo akatta ebikuubi yenje ebundo nkukunyi munyeera sembera wano tuli wano kiri wano downtown kukkiriza mu wino ajjajja tunoonya majja abasire kwini basire jjajja obasanga yeeyo mu kajja obugoye obulaga emibiri babugirayo ku 2,000 kireka bbanda bweyogerere akomukeeyogerere kawempe gayaza kaleerwe paka mpereerwe kibuli mutajazi kikuba mutwe abagezi obasanga katwe kikoni wandege ya makerere yekerere olusitolira na kengere abakyala abatunda emiyembe ne kabalagala obasangayo mu paaka enkadde naye waliwo ebiseera ebabakubamu omuka ogubalagala babadigize obasanga wano ku Good Morning Uganda obeye kabalagala yo wange leka mbatuuseeko eyo mengo bulange we wali na mulondo kibuga kijjudde siranga n'abatunda omulondo baguyita power bank buli kimu kyakusimbira line mu taxi park ne mu banka Cafe Javas, Cafe Bravo, ekirabika batundayo ngoye. Mu Akasha sitegerayo nnyo osangayo babanka ne bakasha. Eyo watoto abasabirayo bava ntinda bukoto nze nsabirayo pastor igakube eddiini nkyayiga. Eyo Kololo wali abakulembeze abatufukidde kookolo. Abawala abasiga emimwa okukweka enjala kwotadde Cutex ku njala be basinga okujjuza amabaala. Ye nnyabo eno taxi si ya nnyoko simanyi oba onaalinnya. Abavuzi abataagala kumanya abasaabaza ab'amanya n'enguudo ez'ebinnya kyekino ekibuga ekitalina linnya. Thank you.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasos, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.